Good afternoon from beautiful Miami. My name is Miriam Isa Al Ali Zastipel. I put God first. This is my story, and I have a purpose. I help others embrace their authentic self to serve a bigger purpose. Everything I do in my life, from the minute I wake up in the morning to the minute I go to sleep at night, is in service of something bigger than who I am.
Yes, and my name is Alexander Zastipel, and my purpose is to bring out the strength in others so they can take full control of their life and gain all rights to their existence.
To their existence, and welcome you guys to another episode of A Clear and Conquer Live. We come to you guys every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, that's 8 p.m. Dubai time. We bring to you a topic that we discuss for the whole week with our accountability group, and why not share it with the rest of the world who might be getting some pieces of information that will change something in their existence. And today's topic is about
confronting your environment. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting because guess what? Miriam is from the other side of the world, and so am I. We're both from different parts of this planet. So we're from different environments. We have learned a lot about confronting our environment, and we're going to share it with you because it's so important when you're on your growth journey to know to confront your environment in the first place.
Exactly. So without any further ado, let's dig into it. So confronting your environment. What does confronting mean? So this is what we do as well. Every time we teach you guys a lesson, we go to the actual definition. What does confrontation actually mean? So confront means going face to face with something that you don't want to look into.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to look into, but when you confront it, you are going face to face with it.
Mm-hmm.
And what does environment mean?
Yeah, and for confronting, by the way, the more you can confront something, the more you are willing to occupy the same space. So like, for example, let's give them an example so they understand it even more. Like when you're confronting, let's say you don't like, let's say a snake, right? You don't really want to confront that snake. And by the way, you have, right, if it's a poisonous snake, you might not want to get very close to it, right? But in anything in life, you're going face to face with something. You're confronting it. So the more you can confront something, the more you can go face to face with it, the closer you can get towards it. And a lot of times it's the things that are very uncomfortable that you need to confront, okay? And environment, like Miriam mentioned, is the setting or conditions in which a particular activity is carried on, okay? Environment, the definition is the setting or conditions in which a particular activity is carried on. So it is the setting, it is the condition, it is the state that you are in.
Right.
Okay, it is where you are. So wouldn't it be a good idea to make sure that that environment is a lot better looking, tidied up, not full of a whole bunch of trash, not full of a whole bunch of toxicity, not full of a whole bunch of negativity?
Right.
Wouldn't that be a good idea, right? Yes, it would be. So I want Miriam to kick it off here. And we're going to give you some reasons of why you should even do this in the first place, because we can talk, but we need to tell you why you need to do this.
Absolutely, 100%. And there are 4 points we would like to share with you guys about confronting, and nothing we would share with you we have not done ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So warning from Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is actually powering our program. He owns a company called Purple Circle. And he's the one who is running this program for us every single Tuesday. So thank you, Wi-Fi. He's telling you to take notes and take actions, because just listening to us while eating popcorn will not take you anywhere. Okay? Make sure that you're intentional about this hour. I mean, we try to do it to an extent of an hour, that you're with us in this time that you are together and you do something with it. Okay? And another warning. It's not going to be comfortable. Whatever we're going to be saying right now, maybe you wanted to say it, think about it, or do it, but you didn't want to. So let's kick it off and say, why do you even need to confront your environment, surroundings? And we don't even talk about your house or your community or your only like the backyard or the trees and the birds. We're talking about confronting everything around you, as Alex mentioned, which is again the setting you are in. So the first reason why you should be confronting your environment is because your environment will dictate your growth.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that you are someone who have so much ambitions and you have so many dreams and you want to go after them, but then the more you try to go after them, something happens, something doesn't go according to plan. You're trying, it's not working out, and you try some more, and then it doesn't work out. And then you go to your environment and they tell you, good, you deserve it. Who told you can do it in the first place? You? Nobody in your family is a millionaire. Why do you want to work like this? Why do you have to go through all these different events and conferences and be reading books? Oh my God, you are a bookworm. Okay? And then they're going to start making fun of you and pulling you down. Why do we need you to confront your environment? It's because your environment will dictate your growth. If you're not growing, you're dying. Period. There is no nicer way to say this. If you're not growing, you are dying. And if you are looking at your current environment and it's not helping you grow, we're going to talk about different ways to deal with it in a second. But if it doesn't help you grow, you need to change that environment. I'll give you how the environment I used to live in, okay? And it has nothing to do with a country or a specific region of the world. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just how certain societies are functions. And many of the things you're going to be talking about, you heard it in a way or another, right? So let's say, for example, growing up, I was told, I will go. How many of you guys have similar stories? I would love to know if you can just, guys can share. You're going to go to KG, and then you're going to go to preschool, and then you're going to go to high school, and then you're going to go get a degree. And then after that, you're going to find a job, and then you're going to find a partner, get married, and have children, and save for retirement. That's what I was told. And this is what many of us were told growing up, right? Many of us were told that we cannot do, like, this is how our life will be, accepted and move on. And deep inside, I knew there was something more. But then again, the more I tried to grow, the more people tried to suppress me. My cheerleader was my dad, is my dad, right? He's the one who was always telling me growing up, never allow a day to pass without adding something new to yourself. Do not allow, like, take control. Do not allow a day to pass without adding something new to Maryam. And I remember growing up in this huge library at home. My dad had like books from every single like sector and science you would think about. He had everything in his library, right? But that was my dad. But then I go to school. The teachers told me I shouldn't be going after my dreams. Okay, my friends were telling me I have no reason to do that. So why you should be confronting your environment? Look at it. Does it help you flourish or die?
Yeah, 100%. Here's the thing. For me, it was quite the opposite. And I grew up in North Dakota, which is a state in the United States here. For those of you that are not from here, you're probably not familiar with it because it's so small. But it's a really great state. It really is. A lot of good people there. But what I did is I fell down a different road. And for me, I fell into the environment. I started putting myself in it without realizing. And I was putting myself in an environment of the bars, places that didn't serve me, places that weren't opportunistic for growth. And then also I started working at a place. I had this amazing work ethic my whole life. Like, I had an amazing work ethic, really good work ethic. And then I went to a place where the people didn't really like to work. Okay. And what they started telling me is like, why are you doing these things so fast? You need to wait. You need to slow down, because otherwise they're going to find more work for us to do. That is what I was told right off the bat. First week on the job, and I worked there for 6.5 years. And over time, I started falling into that environment of not really procrastinating, not waiting to get things done, not doing it right away. Otherwise, we would take all the work away from the other crews and things like that. And I was being told that. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. You know, I don't want to contradict someone that has been here for 30 years, 40 years, right? Like, to some of those people have been there for a long time.
Right.
And the reason I'm telling you this is I wasn't able to grow in that environment. Like, I was told to stop working. I was told to slow down. I was told to like, hold on a little bit. Like, hey, you don't need to read over any of those procedures or anything like that. Just do it the way we're doing it. Okay, so I was told all those things, and that environment dictated my future. So I started getting more lazy. I started waiting and procrastinating. I started becoming like that more so. And granted, I'm not blaming them. That was my choice still. Okay, I chose to work there still. When I hear people complain about their work, that they have no right to complain about the work because you're literally choosing to work there. You signed up for that.
Yeah.
You put in the job application. They didn't put it in there for you. Your coworkers didn't write your job application for you. You did that.
100%.
Okay. So your environment dictates your growth. For me, like I fell into a big trap of alcohol, doing different drugs and things like that, and just going down a very negative path. Obviously, I was doing the opposite. I was burning my brain cells instead of growing them. Okay. And it had a lot to do with the friends that I chose, the people that I chose to hang around with. Okay, it has a lot to do with that, and it's very hard to confront this, and that's why I'm telling you, because you're probably in a situation where you're not confronting your environment, and you need to do that. Otherwise, you will not be able to grow. Like the people in your environment will dictate your growth, like Miriam said, 100%. Okay.
Yeah.
So
whether you guys want to admit it or not. No, me? No, Habibti, me? No, I'm different. Everybody around me is a failure. I'm a success. Sooner or later, they'll pull you down. Sooner or later, they will pull you down. And as Alex said, the environment plays a big part of it. Like, who are you working with? Who are your colleagues? What are you working? What is the culture and the place that you are working in? If you are in a business, what is the culture that you are creating? Who are the partners you are bringing into your environment? And all that dictates. You know, you cannot say it doesn't impact me. It's gonna impact you sooner or later. Sooner or later, it's gonna happen. That's why the sooner you confront your environment, the sooner you will find if this environment is helping you grow or not. And you should be confronting yourself with that and actually being honest with this as well. Not to say, oh no, it's not going to happen, it's not for me. Oh no, other people get impacted, not me. I'm going to tell you 100%. In fact, it affected me so bad that for 10 years of my growth, I was walking alone. What does that mean? Because my friends didn't support me. A lot of my colleagues didn't support me. A lot of the management at some companies I used to work for didn't support me. I was willing to walk alone, to go to these events and conferences and courses and travel 3-4 times a year to go to a conference. When people will be traveling for a summer break, I will be traveling for a conference or an event to grow myself. And I was made fun of, right? But again, I knew, because the sooner I confronted that this environment is not serving me, the sooner I realized I need to pull myself out if I want a future that I am envisioning.
100%. Like I fell into that, except I put myself in an environment where I was doing the opposite. I wasn't necessarily growing for a lot of those years. So I highly encourage you. You have to. I don't even encourage you. It's something that you have to do if you want to grow into something massive. You have to confront your environment. Okay. So the number 2 thing, Mariam mentioned number 1. Why do you need to confront your environment? Okay. You need to figure out who supports you and who does not. Okay. And this is really hard to confront because this is the people in your life.
Right.
And if you don't do this, you will continue to have people that don't support you, that you're allowing them to not to support you. What do I mean by this? There's people in your life that you're allowing in your life that are secretly whispering behind your back. They're secretly putting you down. They're telling things behind your back. Like they're doing things behind your back. They're snakes. And there's also people that don't know that they're not supporting you. What do I mean by this? They are telling you things that are in their subconscious mind because they're trying to justify their reality. Okay, they're trying to justify the reality that they have by saying things to you to make their reality real. What do I mean by this? If you're working really hard, if you're doing a lot of things, if you're grinding and you're working so hard, and maybe you're not getting results right away, or maybe that you are getting results right away, and they're like, see, I told you, you don't need to work that hard. You're just gonna burn out. You're just gonna burn out just like everybody else does.
Yeah.
and they're telling you this to justify them burning out and quitting. Burnout is quitting. That's what it really is. Okay, so what they're doing is justifying their reality. It has nothing to do with you. So you have to realize that. And if the most dangerous person that we have learned is actually not the person that's intentionally doing it, but it's the one that's doing it in intent or unintentionally.
Yes.
Meaning they're not even actually doing it on purpose. Okay? And why are they doing that? Again, because they're trying to justify their reality. So you actually need to figure out who supports you and who doesn't. One more thing before I let Marion talk here. We have completely surrounded ourselves with people that do support us. Prime example, he already knows I'm going to say his name, William, that produces the show for us. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, what an amazing supportive person. Like, if you want someone amazing in your life, you have to meet William, okay? But per a friendship and partnership of anything, you have to be supportive back to them, right? So people like him we have in our lives. A lot of the other people, I could say their names, but you might not know them, but they're amazing people in our lives as well that we have intentionally surrounded ourselves with.
Right.
We have chose to do that.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that like people that we used to be connected with are bad people or terrible or anything like that. They're just simply not aligned with where we're going.
Right. Absolutely.
Simple as that.
Yeah. When you get the chance, fix that thing over there.
Sure.
Okay, sorry. We have some technicalities here in our studio today, so please excuse us for whatever you see. There's something wrong with the light. Anyways, Alex will fix this. So let's come back to the topic. So the second thing, which is Alex talked about, which is who supports you and who's not supporting you. Like, who is supporting you and who's not supporting you? Who is that person who will always go all in with you, helping you, being there for you, and who are the people who are not? And by the way, take it from your sister Maryam Al-Ali. You do not need more than one evidence. You don't need more than one.
Mariam tells me this all the time.
One. You only need one evidence, one. But as a human, oh my God, no, he didn't mean that he thinks I'm a quitter. He thinks you are a quitter. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like, for example, in the example that Alex mentioned here, when you do something, you're gonna burn out. Why do you have to do all this sign? Because when you celebrate a win, when you celebrate, you separate. When you celebrate a success, you separate. You know who is with you and who is not with you. When you share a failure, you also separate, because people who care for you will be like, oh, Alex, you tried your best, Habibi. Okay, it's fine. It's okay to quit. It's fine. You did a lot. This is not support. This is tearing you down, okay? I would tell him, okay, what did we do wrong? What did we learn? Yalla, let's go again. Let's go at it again. Let's try one more time, right? But here is the thing. Many of us, we don't even do that. We just go ahead and allow our circumstances to dictate it. And we do not, we see a sign of someone who is not supporting you. You see it, but you act like you don't see it. Because I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes. But if you feel it once, that's it. That's it. That's what it is. And you don't need more than one sign for something like that, right? Okay, so and then the other thing I would like to just add on to who supports you and who does not. The earlier we find out who can support you and who's not, the more you will flourish. When I started sharing my success in my life, there were people who supported me and the people who just left. They don't want to do anything to do with me, right? Right. There's some people who came with me, and there are people who are like, oh my God, no, she's too much for the culture. I'll give you an example. Last year, people, oh my God, Maryam Al is successful, we love her. I took my scarf off. They unfollowed me. I had a big meeting with the government. They followed me back. Okay, I did an event in Dubai, taking my scarf off. They unfollowed me. They saw me getting a lot of attention and success after that event. They followed me back. They seeing me marry Alex. They unfollow me. They see me getting even more success, they follow me back. They see me marrying Alex, they unfollow me. They see me going to events and conferences, they follow me back. This is not support. This, when someone wants to support you based on their own beliefs, that's not support. That's someone who cannot make up their mind. Or what will people say about her or not? I'll give you another example before we go to the third point. There was one lady who said, I love you so much, but my friends made me unfollow you. And when I listen to you, I listen to you secretly. So people will not judge me. How do you think this person, how far will this person go? If they cannot make their own decision to who to listen to. I'm not talking about myself in general. Like, she cannot even make the choice if she want to do this thing or not with her life. But so who is supporting you and who's not? The sooner you confront your environment, the sooner you know.
100%. Yeah, you need to confront your environment as fast as possible, because if you don't, the problem gets bigger. This is the thing about confronting. You need to do it with speed. If you realize that there's something that needs to be confronted, it needs to be confronted.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, like at least that day, right? Maybe you're busy in the moment. Okay, but do it that day, because if you don't, the problem it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it's going to be really hard to confront eventually. Okay, so like Miriam said, you really only need one sign. Like, you really only need one sign. And Miriam's so good, I'm becoming really good at it too, of determining like who is and kind of just in it for just themselves, and that's it. Like they do not care about other people. Like determining if they're ethical, like these things. Like, you will become even better and more alert and aware of these types of people that are trying to destroy you. Okay, like, you will become better at that. But the next point of why you need to confront your environment is determining if you need to change it in the first place. Okay, because the first thing that you might have heard in I think it was AAA, they say the first thing to do is admit that you are an alcoholic, right? You have to admit it first, which really is a form of acknowledgement. I like that part. I don't necessarily agree with everything, okay? But when you admit and acknowledge that there is something that needs to change, then you can change it. But if you keep on ignoring it, like I said, you keep on pushing it away and not acknowledging and accepting what that actually is, it's never going to change. So in order to change, you have to acknowledge that there are people in your environment, there are things in your environment, okay? There are situations in your environment. Maybe you're in the wrong environment, the wrong place, okay? Maybe those things are true for you. You need to confront it, and then you can determine if you need to change it or not. I know for me, like I eventually confronted that I need to move away from that career that I told you guys about. I said that I needed to move away from that I was there for 6.5 years. Well, I didn't realize it till like 4 years into it. And look at that, it took me 2.5 years to actually get out of the environment and go into something else. Okay, once I did that, things started to move faster. I was only in that next career for about a year, and then I finally, after a year, went into this business, right? The business that I have. And then we merged our businesses even faster. Okay, so the faster you confront, the faster you determine that there is something that needs to change, the faster you can change it. Okay, so but you have to confront it first. You have to acknowledge it, and then you can determine if it needs to be changed or not. One more example before I let Miriam.
Please.
Is I had to learn and determine that, hey, I actually need to move away from my original home, like the state of North Dakota. And that was not easy, okay? Confronting, we never said in this whole entire live here today that it was going to be easy. Okay, there's one of the hardest things you can do is confront your environments. It's so hard because those environments have been like that for years, maybe your whole life. And it just so happens North Dakota was my whole life. Like, it's been like that. So it's very hard to move because it's very uncomfortable. But I knew I had to do it. I knew I was determined that I had to change. Like, it had to happen. In order to achieve what I wanted to achieve and aligning with my purpose, I had to move. I had to. And eventually it was so urgent that I just moved. like I didn't have the best plan, which I recommend having a better plan. But I knew I had to move, and God was telling me this, and every sign was telling me this, like, you have to move, Alex. It's now. Otherwise, it may never happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Miriam saw the whole thing, by the way, even
Yeah.
before we were together.
Yeah, I actually called him one time. He's like, yeah, I just left North Dakota an hour ago, and he was in his car driving down from North Dakota down to Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah. and 3 months later, we got married.
Yeah.
Just things happen when you change your environment, I swear. Yeah. Go ahead.
And there's nothing wrong with the places we were from.
Of course not.
Like that,
No. We still love it. I just want to give it.
Yes, and I'm actually going back to North Dakota in October. But here's the thing. Like, I knew I had to leave, and Miriam will tell you a story of all of the prophets. They had to kind of do the same thing. And not saying that or that, but like you really do have to really change. You have to leave comfort. And your home state is most likely, for most people, not everybody, the most comfortable place that there is. Okay, so in order to really grow, you need to actually move into a whole new environment where you don't know anybody. It's completely new to you. You don't even know how to get around town. William had to tell me that I need to register my car in a certain period of time. I didn't know that. Like, I knew I had to do it, but I didn't know, like, urgently, right?
Yeah.
And I got my car registered. We got license plates for it. But here's the thing. I went into this, but completely uncomfortable. I did have William. I will say that, though. It's not like I didn't have anybody.
See?
But I had to find William, and I had to choose to be friends with him, and he had to choose to be friends with me, and therefore I had to become someone different.
Yeah.
Okay? So I had to change in order to even have that.
Yeah. I love that. I'm gonna tell you, it with your environment, as Alex just mentioned to you, his environment is the thing that actually got him to change and see what he needs to do with his life or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and then same thing again. I come from in a very small it's a city in the United Arab Emirates. I love my town, but it was too comfortable. I'm very comfortable there. I wake up in the morning, I drive to the karak place. Karak is like when you come to UAE, I will take you to a karak shop. Karak is like tea with milk with a lot of sugar. Amazing.
What is it? Karak.
Karak.
Oh, karak. Okay.
Yes, exactly. I'll show you later.
Karak
Okay.
shop.
Karak shop. Yeah, karak tea shop. Mm-hmm. So anyways, I would go there. I love it. I go there. The karak there is for 1 dirham, which is like 30 cents. Right? I go there, I drive, I go to Dubai, I go to my job, I come back from I go back and sleep in my bed in Very comfortable. But I'm not growing, and people around me are not helping me grow, and people at my job, they're making fun of me. I need to change. And sometimes, here is the thing with change. Sometimes it's gonna be your choice, and sometimes it's not your choice. What do I mean by that? Let's talk about the prophets. Okay, and then again, these are the prophets that God sent them to humanity. So let's take, for example, I'm Muslim, so I'll talk about Prophet Muhammad first. Okay, so Prophet Muhammad, he by the age of 40, he had the angel Gabriel come to him and reveal the Quran to him, which means that he's a prophet. And then he spent 3 years in Mecca, is trying to bring people to worship God Almighty, worship one God. But then his people were just like full of ego. They were worshiping idols, didn't believe in his message. Although before he was a prophet, he was called the As-Sadiq Al-Amin, the most honest and the most faithful. He was called that. But then when he came up with the prophecy, oh no, you're not good. And after 3 years of trying to do that, he didn't get any acceptance in Mecca. And then he had to make the choice to change his environment. He confronted that, and he determined that he needed to change the environment. So he had to move from Mecca to Medina. In Medina, in Yathrib, they supported him. They welcomed him. They welcomed his message. And a few years later, he goes back to Mecca, opening Mecca, and everybody there accepted the new message, which is again believing in one God. Now, this is Prophet Muhammad. He chose to leave. What about Joseph? Joseph, the son of Jacob, he had 11 brothers, right? and he was the most loved by his father, Jacob. And his brothers, Joseph's brothers, they didn't like that. They got jealous of their brother. And because God had such a huge plan for Joseph, like he will actually be one of the biggest leaders of all time, not in the Holy Land, but in Egypt, right? So what happened? His brothers trapped him, throw him into a well, and then someone found him. They sold him as a slave in Egypt. And then we know the story, how he after that became the prime minister of Egypt. Now see, he had to leave his current place, but it was not really his choice. He was like 11 or 12 years old at that time. And he was made to go out of that environment because he has a huge mission to do. What we're learning from the stories of the prophets, Muhammad, Joseph, Jesus, Moses, think about all the prophets who made an impact, Abraham, Jacob, every single one of them. They actually had to go out of their environment to go somewhere else for them to grow in the area that they need to grow for them to fulfill that purpose that they've been created for. So that's the prophets. What about you? Determine if you need to change your environment. Maybe your environment doesn't serve you anymore. Maybe you need to leave that environment for you to grow somewhere else so it can be more beneficial for your environment. I don't know what is your story, but here's what I know. The sooner you confront your environment, you will know if you need to change it or not. Maybe some of you like, no, you know what? I love my environment. I don't need to change anything. And even like here, like many of my friends are helping me with my growth are in an environment that are different than me. They speak different languages than me. They are from different religions than me. They're from different colors and backgrounds and everything. But with them, I'm growing, and because I'm growing, I'm benefiting everyone, my people and everybody else in this universe. I don't only benefit a group of people, I benefit everyone because I'm choosing to grow the minute I go ahead and confront that environment.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I want to add one more thing. This is more for people that want to do massive things, because I understand that some people just want to stay average. And like they are like very adamant about being average. Like they love being average. They love being a victim. They love like falling victim to the economy and blaming everything else. They love not taking responsibility. Like they love that. Okay, and that's fine. That's their life. But for the people that want to take a higher responsibility, know that they're created for so much more than just a 9 to 5. Okay, working at a place that they actually hate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like being around people that constantly are judging them, okay, and actually secretly saying things behind their back, all this gossip and rumors, okay, for those people that know there's something bigger, that want something bigger, that are willing to do something bigger, those are the people we're talking to, because we know, like, we want 8 billion people to know our name, but we know that we will not be able to help all 8 billion. We learned that from our mentor Grant. Like, you cannot help everybody, but everybody does need to know you so you can help the people that actually want to be helped. And those are the people that are watching this. Those are the people that are like William, that are supporting us, that we support them. Okay, the reason I'm saying this is because you have to realize that you should not be taking everything personally. People have their own realities. Okay, and when they have their own realities, you need to go do your own thing. You, even though they're going to tell you not to move, no, that's uncomfortable, like don't do that. Big cities have a lot of traffic. I heard that one all the time. And I live in a place where there's hardly any traffic. Like all of these different things are based on their own realities. You just need to know not to take everything personally. Okay, because if you do, you're accepting their reality, and it's not going to help anything. You're just going to feel like crap.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
So here is the thing, like guys, it's again, by the end of the day, it is what you want to do. We're talking about, again, thank you for that.
Yes.
We're talking about the people who want change. If you don't want change, it's fine. You can stay where you are, but don't expect anything to change. Okay. Even if you have this little thing in you that tells you I deserve a better life, but you're still where you are. You're still surrounded with the right people. With the wrong people. You are still in that environment. You're not gonna get there. I promise you're not gonna get there. But if you are, you feel like you are destined for greatness, that you have a purpose bigger than who you are, that there is something big, I promise you, ask for guidance. I'm a person of faith, so I can ask guidance from God, and somehow I'm here. And by the way, my choice to move here to the US for the, I mean, I'm from UAE, of course I go back, but for me to be here, he moved in October 18, 2021. I came to Miami in October 21st, 2021, with one bag, one piece of luggage, with half of my, closet. But I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come here for a 3 days event with Uncle G, and then I will go. But this is like God is telling me, oh no, you're gonna go and stay there and get married as well. So it's like sometimes you're guided, guys. Sometimes you're just guided toward the thing that you are supposed to be doing with your life. Because I've always been asking God to show me the way. Show me the way. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. You gave me a purpose so big, so massive. What should I do? And a lot of the answers was to move into different environments, see how people are living, learning from other people and stuff like that.
What was it uncomfortable for you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm not speaking the language here, okay? I mean, alhamdulillah, I know English because something it was in the education system, and because of the past 14 years I've been doing this, I've been a speaker, speaking in the front of like thousands of people in the past 18 years. So the language was not a problem, but it was a little bit different. Yes, I love it here. I love the United States. I love Florida. My goodness, it's like it's very beautiful. It rains every other day. From someone who doesn't see rain except for like 10 days a year, that's for me is like, So I'm really grateful. At the same time, I'm like, I miss the little things in my own environment, like my dad going out to get like khamir bread. I'll show you when you go come with me to Muldiwain, okay?
You said bread, so I'm interested.
He loves bread. Oh my God, you want to be his bestie? Get him bread. You want to be my bestie? Get me coffee.
Specifically soft bread.
Oh yeah, the softer the better. He gets excited about bread. So here is the thing, guys. It's not easy. It was not easy for you. It's not easy for me. Especially that there's a lot of judgment, but then I'm gonna tell you guys, yes, there will be people who judge you, and yes, there will be people who will support you, who will be there with you, who will be helping you, who will be who would say, how can I help you? How can I help your mission? How can I help your purpose? And that goes when you go ahead and be around the right people.
And one more point I want to make based off what Miriam was saying here. Okay, we talked about support and we talked about change. Miriam said that she didn't have very much support for 10 years. Guess what happened when she moved out of her environment?
Okay, speaking of support,
I'm just saying.
I'll share one example. Back in September 2021, I did this big 10x event in Dubai, right? And I saw like 40 people from the US coming to Dubai for the event. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what happened? Because I'm like, I was an invitation. Okay, guys, come. I have this 10x event in Dubai. And then William comes, William Figueroa, the one again, Purple Circle, shout out to Purple Circle one more time. He came. I had like Gary, Brecca, and Sage came with their family, mashallah. Everybody's coming to Dubai. My goodness, Arya, like my family, like my quantum family, my soul family just came. And some of them, they only knew me for maybe 3 months, or some of them knew me for like tops a year. Right? And then they just decided to come with me and help me in an event in Dubai. I'm like, okay, that's awesome, right? So again, when you change your environment, you will find people. And by the way, it doesn't mean that you have to move to a different country. In Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, in my own country, I have people who are supporting me. They've always been supporting me. Shout out to Amira Shebani, right? A shout out to my friends who I cannot say their names because they want to keep it, low profile, right?
I was going to say one, but I won't. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So the idea is a lot of people are supporting me there, but because I decided to leave my own environment, not to get so comfortable, and with that you get to meet people who will help you with your purpose. Because I promise you, you cannot do your purpose on your own. No, Maria, I want my purpose. I'm very happy. I'm gonna go ahead and live it on my own. Lies. You cannot. I've been helping people find their purpose for the past 10 years. You cannot live your purpose on your own. You're lying to yourself, okay? And one day you'll be like, she was right. Exactly. Because I've seen it in the past 10 years. I've seen how people are excited about their purpose and then they don't go ahead and execute on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I want her to share that with you, because here's the thing. Miriam was doing something for 10 years and it took moving out of her environment. Funny story is, when I went to Dubai, I was welcomed more in Dubai out of my own environment, more so than being in my original. Like
Yeah.
everybody was welcoming to me. Like it was crazy to me. Like I'm like, well, I feel like I belong here, you know? So that's the whole point here. We waited so long and here's the thing, you can use this right now, this hack, and just do it right now instead of waiting 10 more years or 5 more years or 30 or maybe never.
Yeah.
Okay, you need people that support you. You need people that are doing great things for you, and you probably have a few of them, but you need to find more of them because
Absolutely.
it's just so critical.
The more you find, the better. By the way, we have a quick hack as well for those who want to. Mariam, I don't have an environment right now. Good. Contact us. Send us the letters 365, and you're going to be part of our environment. It's an environment that we created, that we attract amazing people like yourself who want to blueser. But everybody around like, no, okay, stretch your legs as far as your blanket. Okay, one of these weird sayings. Anyway, so we created an environment for people who wanna stretch. If you wanna stretch, if you are stuck, if you are around the wrong people, if you wanna go ahead and grow and prosper and flourish, but you don't have anyone to help you, DM us the word 365 and be part of our accountability group. We will help you for a whole year. Not only be around the right people, but also to win every single day and get closer at your goals.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so number 4.
I think it's you.
It's me? Okay.
Yeah.
We talked, mashallah. The number 4 is, the fourth reason why you need to go ahead and confront your environment is to see if that environment is aligned with your goals. Exactly. It's online. I feel you right now, whoever is sending me this energy. I feel you guys. I understand. I'm with you 100%. You notice that your friends, I'll give you an example. I used to say, I was around average people 10 years ago, and I would tell them, I will get a PhD from the United States. And they were like, who? You? Come on, Maria. Nobody's gonna allow you to travel on your own. The United States, America, it's so far. Oh my goodness, who will allow you? Aslan, in the first place, you cannot travel without a male companion. You cannot. You're gonna go to hell if you travel to the United States without a male companion. For a very long time, I'm like, yeah, they're right. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I have goals so big, so massive. Why am I even stuck with an environment that doesn't support me? That they're my friends, huh? That all what they think about is, oh my God, the bougie things. Oh my God, Mariam, let's go to Fendi and buy. We all need to buy a new bag. Why? Just because we got paid. I'm like, okay. And I love Fendi, by the way, but that Fendi I bought was my least favorite bag of all time, right? Because I was trying to satisfy them. My goals were not aligned with the environment. My environment was caring about the bougie things. They almost took me to do to do stuff with my lips. Alhamdulillah, I didn't do anything. Okay, so I don't want to, but because my environment, that's what they all cared about. They didn't care about growth and ownership, and they didn't care about doing something bigger, and they didn't care about goals and education and purpose. I talk about purpose like they don't even address it. Ladies, I'm gonna run a purpose session. Hey, we need to go to that coffee shop. They literally ignore my comment. So what did I do? Gradually, I had to leave that environment. I had to leave these friends. When they would say, Mariam, let's go hang out in this place. I'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I am actually preparing a session. Okay, then we can do the session next week. I'm like, no, I have people coming. Okay. And then I do that little by little. They decided to leave. Because when you outgrow your environment, for those who don't serve it, they will just leave. Many of you guys are outgrowing your environment, but you just don't know where to go next. And I'm gonna tell you, being around the right people is the thing that determines if you are aligned with that or not. Many of you guys are stuck right now. Stuck. You are stuck with an environment that doesn't support you, that doesn't appreciate you, that doesn't embrace your talents, that doesn't embrace your goal, that doesn't embrace the thing that you want to do with your life. They don't care. You are in a job that doesn't support you, and you are staying with it because you think that you have no other choice. But I promise you, if you understand the idea that when you want to grow your environment, you're gonna find places, you're gonna find people who will help you grow and develop that.
100%, 100%. And like that's so important what Miriam said. I hope all of you are following Wi-Fi's warning at the beginning of taking notes and paying attention, because here's the thing. These are all things that you can use immediately in your life. So I hope that you're using it in your life, okay? Because if you don't, and maybe you're like me where you're like, do I really have to confront the people that are so close to me? Do I really have to confront my friends? Do I really have to confront my family? How do I do this? And the answer is yes, absolutely. If you want to go for the massive goals that you know you deserve, that maybe you gave up on and now you're kind of coming back to it, you're like, wait a second, I gave up on those goals because of other people, not because of me. I was worried about them when I should have been worried about me in creating this big thing that I was meant to create. Right. Oh, by the way, God is telling me to do this, not them.
Right.
Okay. So, and by the way, I realized that I was supposed to say that point, by the way, but that's okay. So
we are a team, baby. Doesn't
yes, yes. But here's the thing: your goals have to be aligned with the people that you're surrounded with, because if you're allowing people to promote something to you, it will start to brainwash you. Okay. What do I mean by this? If you're watching negative news, if you're listening to negative, toxic friends, if you're listening to negative family members, okay, if you're listening to them and allowing it, it will start to consume you. Eventually, if you let it happen over and over and over and over, you will start to become like that, because you are the 5 people you surround yourself with most. Mm-hmm. So when I have my goals really massive, if my friends started telling me that they're too big, like that's impossible, are you sure you can do that? Like if they start saying that, the friends that I have now won't say that. They just won't. They just don't. Like they just don't do it. But in the past, I've had friends be like, "What do you need billions of dollars for?" Like they couldn't even understand, because they can't think that big. Because they're more worried about what other people are thinking, what the little things, the little problems. I'm not worried about these little problems. Okay, I don't want to worry about if I can pay the water bill, or if I can afford to go out to a fancy restaurant with my amazing friends.
Right.
Like, I don't want to worry about that stuff. I'm worrying about $5 million problems, $50 million problems. Like, you have to start thinking bigger. And then when you do, you will, like Miriam said, start outgrowing your environment. And that will be the uncomfortable part, because it's not going to be fun. Like that's just not fun, because you've been friends, and some of those friends may have helped you, by the way. That's right. The hard part. But I'm telling you this now because maybe no one ever will tell you this, but you need to hear this, because you will outgrow your environment if you keep on going for what you're supposed to be going for, not what everybody is telling you you're supposed to be going for.
Right.
Here's the rules. Here's the rules, little Alex. You're only 5 years old. You don't know very much right now, but here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to KG. You're going to go to 1 through 6 in the United States here. You're going to go to middle school. And then you're going to go to high school. Then you're going to get a degree, okay? Yeah. But you have to get a degree, okay? Because that's you're only going to get a good job if you get a degree, okay? And people that don't get into trouble, okay? You're going to have to go get married. You're going to go get some kids. Yeah. And then you're going to go get that nice white picket fence house that you can't even afford. You're going to put some money away towards retirement, but 82% of people, by the way, little Alex, won't have enough money for retirement. So just live your life right now, just like everybody else. Fall into the same trap. Most people aren't going to have enough money in retirement, so just have fun right now while you're young. Just do it while you're young. Have fun. Go experiment. And Alex, why'd you get in trouble? What? I don't understand. Why'd you just get in trouble? You're doing those bad things. I told you not to do those things. Okay, Alex got very bored, right, of doing everything that everybody else told him to do, instead of hanging on to the dreams that he had when he was 10 years old, when he was 5 years old, okay? Because I had dreams of owning the Caesar's Palace, which is a $2.5 billion hotel or something like that. I think it's 2.5 billion
Las Vegas Strip.
On the Las Vegas Strip in Nevada, okay? Why am I telling you all of this? Okay, because I know it's already happened to you. It already has. It's done. Now, what can you do about it? You can confront your environment. Okay, you can confront the people that are around you. This is the hardest part, is the people part. I promise you. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? When I started getting my dreams back, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, and by the way, I did some things wrong even. That's why I'm telling you these things, so you can do it right. Going up to those people and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, and I need you to support me because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It is my purpose. It's the reason I was created.
Yes.
And it is what God is telling me to do. If they start making fun of God telling you something, immediately, like, that should be a red flag. I mean,
you only need one sign, as you said.
You only need one sign.
Yeah.
So my whole point here is confronting your environment. Okay, and you need people around you that are aligned with your goals. William, me and him have done goal creation together, and we're thinking about, oh, what kind of, and some of you people might be like, oh wow, that's crazy. So we're thinking about, what jet are we gonna buy? What type of things are we gonna be able to do? Yeah. We're gonna be traveling to Paris because I've never been to Paris, and neither has William yet. We're gonna be doing all of these big things together. We're thinking about all these amazing things in alignment with each other. Now, Miriam and I have goals too that are different from that. But the fact is the 5 people that I'm surrounded with, we have goals in common, and they're aligned. And if you listen to any successful person on this planet, in a successful marriage, okay, a successful business relationship, success with their kids, it is all about the letter, that letter A, alignment. Because if you're not aligned, you're going to be very confused, frankly.
Right. By the way, I just want to say something about growth and money. About your environment and money. I'll give you one example. One time I went with the same mastermind you and I went to. First time we met, Alex and I, in a mastermind. We were at a Grant Cardone's event in December of 2020. Before that, I had big dreams and stuff like that. And then we sit in that room, okay, and then we hear people talk about money. Okay, they talk about money, but they don't talk about the money that you and I know, 100K, 200K. I hear Rodolphe behind 50 million. How much
he's
you
doing
making?
50 million.
At that time, he was making.
At that time.
At that time, it was 50 million. What? Who's making 50 million? I'm in a room with someone who makes 50 million. How is that possible? Right? So, and then I meet people who talk like I see millions.
And then there was another guy doing 100 million, over 100 million, with car washes.
Oh yes, that person. So, and then the other guy who was doing solar, I forgot his name.
Yep, that guy was doing 15 million.
So imagine we have that environment and people talk about millions. In 2 days, I told the Grant Cardone, he's like, what's your ambition? I'm like, 10 million. I'm gonna make 10 million. And now Alex and I, we have a joint goal. We're gonna be making 100 million by the year of 2025. Done. There will be no way we could even think like that. Some of you guys think, I'm like, oh my God, Alex and Miriam, I dare dreaming. There is no way they can make this money. We will make that money and see us in our private jet. Don't come wanting to come to the private jet, okay? Because this private jet will be for people who are supporting us, like William, like Arya, like Julian, like Alejandra, like Autumn, like Sean, like Gary and Sage. Those are the people who are supporting us. Those are the people who come on the jet, right? But again, because we're thinking so massive, I used to think that 1 million dirham is a lot of money. 1 million is a lot of money, Maria. 1 million is like $250,000. It's nothing compared to whatever we are making right now, and the knowledge and the experience and the people around us. The people around us, they don't talk in small numbers. Oh, I'm gonna make 10K this year. We don't have people like that. We have people who tell us we're gonna make millions. Okay, we're gonna make millions. We're gonna show you how to make millions. That's why we're investing a lot of money being around millionaires and billionaires like Grant and Brandon, right? Because those are the people who we are learning from. We learn the zibda. We learn the conclusion of their experiences. Why do we have to go through all that pain on our own? Trial and error and failure. Let's go learn from someone who already failed and see how much they are willing to teach me. I will pay for it right now, so I will buy the next 30 years of failure or whatever it is. The smart people who do that, the people who are stupid, who are like say, oh my God, I'm gonna figure it out on my own. I will know how to figure it out on my own. You cannot figure everything out on your own. Well, the minute we change our environment, that happened. And look what happened when I changed my environment. The humidity in Miami. Wallah, my hair, I've never seen it this messy in my life. Okay.
That's okay.
I love Miami. It's not a reason.
Yes, yes. So here's the thing. You need to confront your environment. It is literally critical. Okay, I promise you, it is critical, and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be something you don't want to do, but you have to do it anyways.
Right.
One last thing that I'll say is when you're doing these really big things, you are going to have to do things that other people refuse to do themselves. And this is one of them. It is one of the hardest things, like I said, but you need to acknowledge that it's going to be hard. You need to accept, and then you have to go and do it anyways. You have to do it anyway. Do it anyway. Okay? That's the attitude you have to have. Because if you don't, you're gonna stay stuck. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna be doing all this work, all of this grinding, you call it, all of it. You're gonna be wanting to prosper. So you're even thinking in terms of abundance, but you're still not moving. Why is it? It's because of your environment. Okay? So if you like this and you're on our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube page. And we have all of our videos archived. We do this every single week at noon Eastern, 8 p.m. UAE time. This is Clear and Conquer Live. Today was about confronting your environment. And I hope everybody has an exceptional week. And you have anything to add?
Confront your environment. And if you need our help, DM us the word 365 and we will help you. It's time, guys. Until when? You're going to be thinking big, but you have an environment that is thinking small. Take care, guys.
See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye.